Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rising Sign Astrology. Today, we're going to be diving into the astrology of September of 2025 and getting right into how this is going to affect you by rising sign. September is officially eclipse season, right? And the energy is anything but light. We have a total lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 7th, which is asking all of us to surrender what is no longer serving us, right? Especially illusions or expectations or maybe dreams that have proven unsustainable or feel like they're slipping through our fingers. I think it's a turning point of release and disillusionment, and just a general recalibration for wherever Pisces hits your chart. Then on September 21st, there's a partial solar eclipse at the 29th Adiratic degree in Virgo, and this is going to bring culminations and powerful endings, but also some fresh starts and seed planting around Virgo themes in your chart. And Virgo naturally has to do with health and work and service and daily routine. So this is going to be the eclipse, I think, to really keep your eye on. And it's going to be a moment to get real and reset your priorities and, plant those new purposeful seeds wherever Virgo resides in your particular chart. And in addition to that, as if it wasn't enough, Saturn is going to be retrograding back into Pisces at the very beginning of the month on September 1st. And it's going to be its final pass until 2026. So it's going to prompt one last look at where you've been asked to grow, right? Through discipline, through patience, through acceptance. And I think that Saturn being back here is just one last test, right? To determine, have you learned the lessons of the last, couple of years since Saturn entered Pisces in March of 2023. But make no mistake, the eclipses are the main event and they're here to move things forward, whether you're ready or not. And I think September as a whole is asking all of us to be very honest and very discerning, as well as adaptable. And if you can do that, I think this month can mark the turning point where we start to settle into the normal of life after the eclipse shakeups happen. As always, remember I leverage Western whole sign house astrology, but I'm also fascinated by fixed stars as well as Vedic interpretations, so you may notice elements of those sprinkled in when they're relevant to the discussion. And in today's video, you can listen for your rising sign, your sun sign, even your moon sign, but I always suggest listening based on your rising sign first, as it really shows how these transits will impact you on a physical level within the world. Then consider your sun sign for career or purpose, and ultimately your moon sign for how these shifts might affect you emotionally or on the home front. And as always, if you enjoy the content and want to hear more, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button so you're alerted whenever I post new videos. It really helps with the algorithm and telling people that this content is worth sharing with other fans of astrology like us. And if you're ever looking for a personalized reading, you can check out all of my offerings at risingsignastrology.com, and all of the booking details are there and also in the description box below this video. So with that said, let's dive into September of 2025. Okay, my Gemini risings. Eclipse season is here. And September of 2025, I think, is going to bring some pretty significant shifts for you. There's a strong emphasis on your ruling planet, Mercury, which moves from your fourth house of home and family into your Libra fifth house of creativity, children, romance, joy. And this month is about clarifying your personal foundations as well as redefining family dynamics. And I think you'll also be trying to effectively communicate your creative ideas or your romantic interests. And you're going to feel a real internal push to resolve issues from the past and streamline your home environment, as well as just express yourself with greater clarity and confidence in the world. Now, the month starts on September 1st with Saturn retrograding back into Pisces, your 10th house of career, status, and public reputation. And since March of 2023, Saturn's been testing this area, right? Testing your professional ambitions and your long term goals. And this retrograde gives you one last chance to revisit a career decision or to clarify your long term path. You might realize you know, it's not necessary to keep going in the direction that you are, and that you need to revise your approach at work or take responsibility for professional mistakes in order to restore your credibility in some way. Alternatively, I think a career opportunity you previously dismissed could resurface, allowing you one last chance to step up and achieve recognition, as well as a leadership role. And Saturn is making its final pass through Pisces, right? And it's just this one last wave of challenges designed to test what you've truly learned since March of 2023. So this is a key moment to reflect and get real with yourself and commit to the work that needs to be done in your career. Because once Saturn moves into Aries for good in early 2026, the pace is going to pick up, right? The training wheels are coming off. And we've already had a glimpse of what the next chapter might look like. But if you skip the final lessons that it's teaching you while it's in Pisces, I think you risk entering that new terrain unprepared. So take this opportunity seriously. It is, in many ways, your last chance to lock into the growth so you can meet the future head on with more purpose. Now, the very next day, on September 2nd, your ruler Mercury enters Virgo, your fourth house of home, family, emotional security. And this transit brings sharpness to your domestic matters, helping you organize your living space or clearly communicate needs within your family relationships. You might resolve a long-standing household issue through practical conversations or create detailed plans for home environments at this time. Alternatively, you may find yourself reflecting rather deeply on your family history, and it would help you to somehow better understand the current emotional patterns or family dynamics that you currently are going through. Now, when Mercury in your Virgo fourth house squares Uranus in your Gemini first house on September 3rd, I would expect sudden shifts or tensions between your personal identity and family responsibilities. You might abruptly decide to make changes to your living arrangements or assert yourself more boldly within family discussions, and that would surprise others. Another way this could manifest would be unexpected family news that would require you to rather quickly adapt your plans and reconsider your personal decisions in some way. Now, on September 4th, Mars in your Libra fifth house of creativity, romance, children, squares Jupiter in your Cancer second house of finances and personal values. So be cautious of impulsively overspending on leisure activities or romantic gestures, right? You may rather enthusiastically invest in a creative hobby at this time or entertainment, but underestimate the cost in some way. Alternatively, you may feel overly confident about a romantic relationship, causing you to act too quickly without considering the practical implications. Now, Uranus begins its retrograde in Gemini, your first house, on September 5th. And during this transit, you're encouraged to reconsider your personal identity, your goals, and self-expression. So you might question recent life decisions or identity changes, prompting you to adopt a more authentic or innovative approach moving forward. Alternatively, you could feel a desire to shed outdated personal beliefs or behaviors, allowing you to embrace a fresh outlook. Now, the total lunar eclipse on September 7th falls in your Pisces 10th house of career and public reputation. So think back to September of 2024, because this eclipse marks a key moment in your professional life that may echo, that moment. You might experience closure or culmination in a long-term career project, finally receiving, recognition in some way, or maybe making a major job-related decision at this time. Another way this can manifest would be tensions around your public role or career path that would peak and prompt some form of necessary change. Now, I did a full deep dive video on the eclipses, and I can't possibly repeat all of the information here. So please check out my video, Everything Changes Now, the eclipse impact on all 12 signs, for a much deeper breakdown on how both of these eclipses are affecting you. Now, on September 12th, the sun in your Virgo 4th house is going to sextile Jupiter in your Cancer 2nd house. And Mercury is also sextiling Jupiter that same day. So this is a supportive alignment, and it's going to benefit home and financial matters. You might receive positive news about a home-related investment or successfully secure funds to improve your living situation in some way. Another way this can manifest would be family discussions around money that become productive, right? And you're able to resolve financial disagreements or even clarify shared financial goals in some way. Now, on September 13th, the sun is going to conjunct Mercury in your Virgo 4th house. So you may experience clarity at this time regarding home, property, or family decisions. You could finalize plans for home renovation or clearly be able to communicate personal boundaries with family members. Alternatively, you may successfully resolve lingering household administrative tasks like contracts or leases, things of that sort. Now, Venus in your Leo 3rd house of communication, local environment, siblings, is going to sextile Mars in your Libra 5th house of romance, children, joy on September 15th. So this is going to create a rather harmonious environment for expressing your creative ideas or expressing your romantic feelings. And you might rather confidently, Leo, share your creative projects with others. And you'd probably receive rather positive feedback. Alternatively, I think clear and, charismatic communication could lead to a rather successful romantic encounter, or at least strengthening your bond with an existing partner through heartfelt communication. You're going to be very flirty at this time, I guess is what I'm saying. Now, 2 days later, on September 17th, Mercury in Virgo, your 4th house, is going to oppose Saturn in Pisces in your 10th house. So this is going to highlight tensions between career responsibilities and home obligations. You are likely to feel stretched, rather thin, trying to balance professional demands against domestic pressures, right? And it's going to cause some temporary stress or frustration. Another way that this could manifest would be you could receive critical feedback at work that forces you to reevaluate your approach or even reconsider your professional commitments in some way. Now, on September 18th, Mercury enters Libra, your 5th house of creativity, romance, joy, and children, which is going to enhance your ability to communicate rather positively with charm and creativity. And it's an excellent time for presenting artistic projects or engaging romantically with a partner or just, having some effective communication with your children. Alternatively, you may find yourself enjoying more social activities around this time and just effortlessly being able to connect with new romantic interests or expressing yourself through hobbies that bring you enjoyment. Now, at the same time, Mercury in Libra is also going to oppose Neptune in your Aries 11th house. And your 11th house is the house, yes, of group connections, friendships, networks, but also your dreams and visions for the future. So I think this opposition could potentially cause confusion or miscommunication within your social circles, right? There could be a misunderstanding that temporarily strains a friendship or a group project in some way. Alternatively, you might find yourself unsure about someone else's intentions within the group. And it would prompt you to be cautious, perhaps overly cautious, in sharing personal information with that individual or maybe sharing your creative ideas with that person. Now, Mercury is simultaneously going to trine Uranus in your Gemini first house, as well as Pluto in your Aquarius ninth house of beliefs, higher education, travel, cross cultural experiences. So, this is a powerful alignment that's going to support innovative self expression, but also learning. You might successfully introduce a new creative idea through online platforms or educational pursuits. This can also manifest as unexpected opportunities for travel or higher education emerging that would broaden your personal horizons and expand them in some way. Now, Venus enters Virgo, your fourth house, on September 19th. So this is going to bring harmony at home and a deepening of family bonds. So this is a great transit. And you might decide to beautify your living space or redecorate or just strengthen emotional connections with your family members at this time through meaningful conversations. Alternatively, I think you could focus on nurturing self-care routines at home that enhance your comfort and your emotional security. Now, the Sun in Virgo is going to oppose Saturn in Pisces on September 20th. So this is a tough one. This is going to really emphasize the balance between your home life, fourth house, and your professional ambitions, 10th house. So you're likely to face external pressure at work that's going to temporarily disrupt your domestic life and the tranquility within the home. I think as a result, you're going to have to reevaluate, and there'll be some need for establishing clear boundaries. Alternatively, I think it could manifest as responsibilities at home that somehow restrict your career progress momentarily. And it would urge you to be patient, but also to prioritize the most important things rather carefully so you can strike the best balance possible. Now, the partial solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo is occurring on September 21st. So this is going to significantly impact your fourth house of home and family. You may initiate important changes in your living situations. There could be issues with your mother, or you may decide to change homes at this time, to move or end a lease, find a new rental, or to renovate the house in some way. This could also manifest as emotional clarity around family dynamics that's going to prompt you to establish new boundaries or improve family relationships through practical Virgo discussions. And again, I have a full video on this. Everything Changes Now. It's titled, that you can go on my channel, and it does a much deeper dive that I can't possibly cover within the monthly. Now, on September 22nd, Mars is entering your sixth house of Scorpio. So this is hitting your work, health, daily routine house. And it's going to intensify your drive to accomplish tasks and improve your health habits. You may become very proactive in addressing workplace challenges at this time or initiating a disciplined health regimen. Alternatively, I think workplace dynamics could become more competitive. So be aware of that, because the sixth house is also the house of coworkers and open enemies. And this could require some strategic management of those relationships. Now, the Sun enters Libra, your fifth house of creativity, children, romance, and self-expression, on September 22nd, marking the fall equinox. So this period is now going to enhance your enjoyment of creative hobbies and social activities. And you might consciously seek a greater balance between work and joy, and leisure. And I think it's going to force you to prioritize having fun a little bit more, even prioritize romantic connections. So I think that'll be a very pleasurable transit. Now, on September 23rd, the Sun in Libra is going to oppose Neptune in Aries in your 11th house. So this is now going to potentially cause unclear boundaries or confusion between friendships and romantic interests, right? Watch out for getting friend zoned or putting someone there, right? And you may need to address misunderstandings within your social groups or carefully navigate some romantic expectations amongst friends. Um, Alternatively, unclear social obligations could temporarily limit your personal freedom or creative expression in some way, prompting a need for clarity. Now, finally, Mars in Scorpio, your sixth house, is going to square Pluto in your Aquarius ninth house. And this is happening on September 24th. So, this is going to trigger some power dynamics or conflicts between daily routines and long term goals or beliefs. I think workplace conflicts are likely to arise, and they stem from differing values or differing perspectives that is going to require some careful diplomacy not to get blown out of proportion. So go easy on this day. I think this could also manifest as, just your desire to implement a new health or lifestyle change that could somehow conflict with established beliefs or prior commitments that you made. And it would prompt you to reconsider and come up with some strategic compromise that made both parties, happy. And my Geminis, that wraps the month from an astrological perspective. Yes, this is a powerful time, one that's likely to be both revealing, but also helpful, I think. And it's helping each of us to get closer to our true path, right? That's what the eclipses do. And yes, they do stir up major change, and we're all going to feel the shift. And please be sure to check out the deep dive eclipse video that I did titled "Everything Changes Now" for more insight in that area. And definitely drop a comment to share how you're navigating this intense and very transformational time. And yeah, I wish you luck and a lot of strength this month. Take care. Well, thanks for sticking with me through this video and tuning in today. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this that can help you, navigate your life with a little bit more clarity and hopefully confidence. And if you're feeling the intensity of eclipse season or noticing these Virgo and Pisces transits hitting major points in your chart, it's a powerful time to get a personalized reading and insight into what's happening. Eclipses really tend to bring fated shifts, especially when they activate key houses or hit personal planets. And I offer private, birth chart, career, relationship readings. And all of the booking details are in the description box below, or you can find my full host of offerings at risingsignastrology.com. So with that, good luck with the eclipse energies this month. They can be disorientating, but they're also deeply transformative. And remember, the end of 2025 is the final chapter in a much longer cycle, right? With Saturn retrograding back into Pisces for its last final pass, Neptune making its last rounds in the same sign later this year, and Uranus slowly moving through Taurus for its last pass this fall. We're all in the thick of this powerful, energetic reckoning and shift, and it's truly going to be a new world for all of us soon enough. And right now, they're just going to be stirring up one last deep dive into the past, spiritually, emotionally, and energetically, for the rest of this year and very early 2026. So old illusions, outdated structures, and unresolved patterns are surfacing, but they're surfacing so you can finally close the loop. And the eclipses in this axis are part of that unraveling as well. And this is your opportunity to do that inner cleanup before early 2026 arrives, right? When Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, even Pluto, right, will all be anchored into their new signs for a long period of time, ushering in not only a new era collectively, but also personally. So we're not just turning a page, we're beginning a whole new chapter. So keep that in mind, and let's all get through the next few months with clarity. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself this month. Good luck, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.